My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic. Today I'm reviewing Chanel Coco Mademoiselle from £56 and 50p for 35ml right up to £112 and 50p for 100ml. The essence of a bold, free woman. An oriental fragrance with a strong personality, yet surprisingly fresh. Sparks of fresh, vibrant orange immediately awaken the senses. A clear heart reveals the transparent accords of jasmine and rose. The trail unfurls the pure accents of patchouli and vetiver that emphasizes the slender structure of the composition. So this is very interesting to me because I've never smelt it. I'm sure I've smelt it around. Apparently I spoke to a perfumer and this is the most popular women's fragrance of all time, and this gets mimicked into lots and lots of different things actually, depending on the cost. So this has been put into fabric conditioners, this has been put into air fresheners. It's just a really classic, beautiful scent. So let's see what I think. Do we have our fragrance samples? Are we engaged with our high self? Let's get testing. So this is nothing less than what I would have thought. Clean, floral, sweet, with some depth at the heart. This is, of course, this is Chanel at its finest. So immediately I'm hit by lily of the valley notes, and I'd say a combination of a dry one like Latrilis with a softer one to sort of give a slight sort of clean peachy feel. It's just classic French perfumery, these sort of lily of the valley molecules. They're called Mouget, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's very nice. The top notes are definitely linalool, which gives a beautiful, clean, dry projection. I would then say it's then further strengthened with ethyl linalool, which helps to give a fixative effect. As a classic combination of musks, definitely ethyl brassowate, and then I would say 2 or 3 musks down very low, something like a muscone or one of the other sort of musks, and bretellide, I think that's how you pronounce it. I say a combination of all those sort of things. This has lots and lots of floral compounds in, salicylates, which are sweet floral aroma chemicals, because floral absolutes can be very, very toxic. You have to be very, very careful when working with them. There is definitely a limit to what you can do. So when you are utilizing these floral compounds, you will support it with floral notes, and that way it makes perfumery safe. It has a sweetness to it, such a sweetness core to it. Now, to me, it feels a bit peachy, which is maybe not how maybe you would associate it, but that is sort of there is definitely some sort of green notes in it, geraniol and all those sort of compounds, combined with some dewy notes in there as well. But the sweetness, I say, is vanillin, which I think is lovely in this, absolutely. This has some lovely wood notes in there, some, well, if you would smell it, it's sort of in the sandalwood family, but this can help to give a real softness. It can be a little bit too green, a little bit too sweet, and utilising these sort of wood compounds helps to give balance. Actually, otherwise it becomes way, way too top heavy, and it becomes like a too lily of the valley. So when designing a fragrance like this, you need to really combine all the sort of notes perfectly. It's so sweet, so beautiful, elevated. I can understand why it's incredibly popular. This does have patchouli in. It has almond oil in to help give projection, which is a lovely allergen-free essential oil. Maybe some other citrus in there to push with the elevation, but I'm not detecting jasmine in there. Actually, jasmine is definite. I use a lot of jasmine. I love jasmine. It is outrageously expensive. I'm not really detecting it in this. And I'm not really detecting rose, actually. What I'm detecting is geranium sort of aroma chemicals. This is primarily aroma chemicals with some ozonic notes, and there's quite a lot of ozonic notes to give sort of elevation and that lift and push to it. There's a lovely sweetness to it as well. I say ethyl maltol's just been put in at trace amounts, and if you're going to use ethyl maltol, this is how to do it, because it can be sickly sweet, vomit inducing, but if it's used correctly, it can just sweeten up a formulation beautifully. On to my final thoughts. So I'll go through my marks with you. I love this very much, actually. I think it's a classic, beautiful woman's perfume. I think you know what you're getting with it. I think it's particularly good for all ages. It's just very classic and beautiful, and again, just very, very French. So I would say, I mean, technically this is superb. This is just such a classic perfumery in how to manipulate aroma chemicals to smell very, very natural and to give you that effect of clean, fresh, projecting, sweet, feminine, floral, ozonic. That's sort of what you're getting with this sort of, it's very delicate, but it also has a lot of projection and sweetness to it. Do I like it? I love it very much, actually. I think it's a very inoffensive, beautiful, classic day scent. Do I think it's worth the price? I think it is worth the price, actually, because the skill in it is phenomenal in this. This is just how to do classic French perfumery. But this way, it may surprise you. I personally, I love it, but I personally don't love it at the same time, you see. I would love to see some floral absolutes based into this. I'd love to see it just a little bit more enriched. And I think it's time now for perfumery really to start using absolutes and start using a lot more naturals. That's where I would love to see perfumery going back to. It almost feels like we've had an era of oversaturation of aroma chemicals with 10% naturals, and I'd love to sort of see the living, breathing embodiment of floral absolutes, and more sort of floral absolutes, wood absolutes, just a bit more exquisite perfumery. I'd love to see perfumery elevated and taken away from marketing and totally cost driven, and as I keep saying to you, I'd love to see perfumers being allowed to let loose and really being allowed to produce classic, beautiful, exciting new works of art. But this is gorgeous. As I said, if it had, you know, jasmine in, if it had rose in, I mean, I'm obsessed by gardenia. It's an impossible thing to get hold of. I've been trying to get hold of it since March from one supplier. Something like gardenia would be lovely. There's some sweet floral absolutes would be just gorgeous thrown into this and just sort of really elongated to just give that sort of twinkling on the top. I can understand why it's so popular and I can understand why it's so loved. But for me, I would personally, to take it up to a 10, I would love to see the floral absolutes put in, something exquisite put in there, because I think women deserve better and I think people deserve better than what we're sort of getting. So I'm going to mark it an 8 out of 10. It's classic Chanel, classic perfumery. It smells beautiful, long lasting, gorgeous, beautiful for all occasions, but it's just lacking some magic, and that's very, very personal for me. For the higher marks, it really has to twist it and be phenomenal and just different and unique. A Lang Lang would be lovely in this, or it just has to sort of be really utilising expensive raw materials in there. That's what I find particularly blows my head off my shoulders, and this is just a lovely, inoffensive, beautiful day scent. Very inspiring, I have to say, but I'd love to see the naturals lumped up into it, actually. So I hope you're having a great day. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands, lots of reviews. Hope you're safe and well, and I'll see you soon.